mamá y se lo dice a tu mamá. Ay, qué hermosísima mamá.
Welcome to our very first episode. Today we're diving into the exciting world of startups. What exactly is a startup? What are the first steps to starting one? In this episode, you will learn how to analyze your business idea for success and organize your time effectively to pave the way for your big idea. Let's get started. First question will be like, what is it, the startup? Because I always hear that it has to be like innovative or something new. Is it like really you need to create something new and that's in only this case you can call yourself as a startup? And what is innovation?
For me, the startup is the most exciting phase in a company because there's nothing, everything is still, they call it greenfield. You have to think about all details. So you start with nothing. That's why they say startups are fast growth, because every time you do something, you're building your company. About innovation, very often startups are highly innovative because people have an amazing idea and they say, wow, I have this great idea and it doesn't exist yet and I don't understand why people are not doing it. Let me do it. So it's innovative. But what I often see is that if you copy 80% of what other companies do and 20% you add your own ideas or your own view on things, that's innovative enough. So if you want to start a hairdresser, a salon, and there's none in the village, you don't need to be that innovative because you just started, because there's a need and people will come anyway. Of course, you have to be good, you have to be very customer oriented, but people will come. If there are 5 hairdressers and you want to be the 6th one, you have to innovate a little bit more because you want to be different than the others. Why would customers come to you and not to the other hairdressers? There the innovation comes in my view.
Ah, okay. So then it's not necessary to create something that does not exist. So innovation is more about how you can distinguish yourself from others.
Yes, I saw a company, they copied one good thing from one good thing from another, one good thing from another. They did that 5 times, so they copy 5 things, but the innovation was to bring that together in one.
Okay.
That was their innovation. Just copying, but copying smart.
Okay. From your experience, what is the first things that you need to think about when you have this idea, okay, I want to start my business?
I think a great vision, and the vision is a complicated word, a great idea, it's the same in my view, is the most important. Because you have to inspire yourself and you have to inspire others. So if you have this idea and you know how to talk about it and you get enthusiastic, it helps you yourself to make time available, to get excited, to create discipline to work on your idea because you're excited. But you also have to excite other people. Maybe you need to open a bank account for your business. You have to excite the employee at the bank. Maybe you need an insurance. So you have to explain what the company is about to the insurance agency. Maybe you need a first supplier that gives you something that you need for your business. You have to inspire a lot of people with your idea. So the better you have your idea visualized, the more easy it is to inspire people.
Also very common question, at what stage you need to do the business plan?
For me, the business plan is a perfect tool for guidance. It will guide you because a lot of people have questions. What is the first thing I have to do starting a business? And what is the second thing and the third thing? Yes. So what a business plan does, a business plan tells you these are step 1, 2, 3, maybe 10 steps. So you know where you go. That gives a lot of confidence. That gives a lot of trust, that gives you a direction. So that's what I like in the beginning about the business plan. But when you start a business, you have to be flexible, you have to be free, you have to be thinking about all kinds of options. So my recommendation is to make a simple business plan, not make it too complicated. Some people start planning and never go into action mode to make it happen. Yes. So my advice always is make a business plan, make a simple one. Use that for guidance, but don't stay in the planning mode. If you have to choose, take an action above a plan. But it goes hand in hand. Take an action and plan, take an action and plan. So you go in parallel. Don't only plan and don't only do actions.
Is it possible for a person who doesn't have knowledge in business to create a business?
Yeah, like in any business, a startup or a mature business, I always believe that 10% of the business you know yourself and the other 90% you need help.
Okay.
So what I see when people start up a business, they are super good or super excited about something specific. That drives success. The other areas that you don't know too much, ask help. And in the beginning, there are very simple tools. There's a lot of people that want to help. There are even people that want to help for free. And people sometimes don't dare to ask help. If you ask help, all doors open and everybody wants to help because they get excited about your idea. They want to help you. That's a human thing to do. So there's a lot of help available for free or for a little bit of money to help you on the business plan. The tools to make a business plan are super simple. Don't get afraid about business plans of companies with 500 papers, spreadsheets, diagrams. That's not how a business starts. It starts super simple, super basic, and the tools are super easy to understand.
Thank you. God, I'm constantly looking at this. But the camera is still there because there are some funny people around me. Be an entrepreneur, to have your business. Is it profession? Is it lifestyle? Is it your mindset?
I love that question because it's all three of them. I think first of all, it's a mindset. It's a mindset of I will be successful, I will not be afraid. If I fail, I do it again and again and again, because you can read many books about this and you can, find a lot on the internet, but nobody was successful the first time. It takes time and you have to learn and you have to practice. So it's a mindset of not giving up and it's a mindset of enjoying the journey and not getting frustrated, but the opposite. I did something wrong or it was different than what I thought. Great, I learned something. I have now more knowledge, I have more skills. So next step I can do better. So that's for me the mindset. I also believe it's professional because you want to grow and make money. You don't start a business losing money, and that's a very, straight answer. You start a business to make money, but you make money by also helping people, give good service of good products. So it's a much more holistic view, it's much more complete, but at the end you want to make money as well. And you can use that money for your own benefit, you can use that money to invest so the business can grow more, you can use that money to give away for charity, that doesn't matter. But a business normally makes money. So that's the professional part, and for that you have to behave professional. And we come back later in our courses on some of those topics. And the third thing is lifestyle. Starting a business is very impossible to do that 1 hour per day. You have to dedicate a lot of time, resources for that. So I believe that it's part of your life. So in my case, in our case, we blend startup and business with lifestyle. And I think it goes super hand in hand. Sometimes I see people, they say, okay, from this time to this time I do business, and then from this time to this time I do family, and from this time to this time I relaxing. In practice it doesn't work like this. It's all blended. And when I talk to entrepreneurs, when I talk to business people, to startups, they always tell me, Herman, I'm never switched off. I'm always busy with my business, but it can be something positive. Because if it's your dream and you believe in it, it's something that gives energy. The moment, that's my biggest advice to people, the moment you don't feel energized when you talk about business and when you do your business, maybe you're doing the wrong thing. But the moment it gives you high energy, make it part of your life.
One of the major problems that people have before opening the business, they're just afraid.
I think scary and afraid is always there. And it's a very good thing. But in my view, it changes why you are afraid. In the beginning, sometimes people are afraid to fail because they lose reputation to their friends, to their family, and they say, if I fail, people see me as somebody that fails, as somebody that loses. That's completely wrong. It's the opposite. If you fail, if you really talk with business people, you really talk with entrepreneurs, they always will see you as somebody who's brave, somebody that's trying, somebody is trying to build a business, because people who build a business, they know how difficult and scary it is. So never ever be scared about your reputation, or people might think wrong of me because I'm failing. Never do that, because it's really the opposite. And you will get a lot of compliments from people that understand, because they have walked the same path. But it is still scary, and I'm very often scared and afraid, because you step into the unknown and you have to cross some borders. Oh, I'm used to do this, but now I have to do something I've never done before. That's scary for everybody. Oh, I now have 5 customers and now I grow to 10 customers. Oh, how I'm going to manage that? Oh, now it's the first customer that I got that has a complaint. Oh, I don't feel good, I cannot sleep about it. These things will happen. So it's always a little bit scary, but for the right reason.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you guys for your time. I have a personal passion about coffee. I love to drink a coffee in the morning. But why did you guys choose to start a business in coffee?
Well, it's a long story. Since me personally, I've been in touch with specialty coffee since 7-8 years, when the whole movement started in Europe, especially here in Granada. And I liked it for just as my passion. I didn't know anything about coffee, and well, later on things happened that I used to work as a tour guide for many years. Then the pandemic came, and in that time, obviously, there was no more work as a tour guide. Everything was under lockdown, and well, I decided to go to Switzerland to find a job over there to work in the meantime. And I ended up working in a specialty coffee shop. My goal, I was focused on finding a job in a specialty coffee shop, and I wanted to do that, and that's how everything started. And it's basically like that.
Nice. And then you guys decided to do this together. So how did you know each other, and why did you decide to work together on this business?
Well, after 2 years working in Switzerland, I came back to Granada. I wanted to come back to Granada. I wasn't expecting to open any business. It wasn't my intention at that moment, but I really felt the opportunity. Well, it came like that. I found this place first, and I was living with my cousin at that time.
It was a coincidence.
It was a
I think that
coincidence,
the
yeah.
life put us together in a flat. We lived together, and I think all this area born into the dinner room, just on the night speaking. It was his area. He invited me to be part of that, so I'm very grateful. And I think it's born on that living room on the nights, speaking and talking.
It was everything spontaneously.
Yeah, you are cousins, so there's a relation of trust, right? Because that's important. But I assume you also have different skills or different mindset that somehow when you put it together, it becomes powerful to start up a business. Can you tell me something about that? Who is doing what in the startup? What are you good at? What are you good at? So how does it work so good together?
I think that was another coincidence, and we are very lucky because we complement each other very well. He's really the head of this business. He's the one that knows about the product, the business, the coffee. My background is totally different. It's computer engineer, but I have that other mindset, more on finance, numbers, strategic, more square headset. So, and he is very artistic mindset oriented as well. So I think we complement each other very well. We don't block each other on our areas. We have our space to work in here. So I think we did really great team.
When I wanted to start this business, because I found this space, I didn't want to do it alone. I think it's really necessary to do it with someone that help you in the moments in which you are not able to put all your energy, and also to have someone who is not exactly like you, who can do the things that you normally don't like to do, or you are not very well doing it. Also, he's my cousin, so I knew that the family is a guarantee. I told him I think I have many good friends, most of them my best friends that I could start the business with, but I found that to keep it with family is easier because the bond is unbreakable somehow.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
And we have respect for each other's families, so it's something that will unite us in the same goal.
And normally people say don't mix business and family, but I have to say totally the opposite. I mean, maybe because the experience we had, that it was very good. So
I have another question for you guys. Starting up a business brings a lot of challenges, anxiety in the beginning. That will continue. The more you develop the business, new things come. But I'm very curious in the beginning phase. So what were one or two big challenges that you guys had? And maybe you can share that with the people that are watching this video.
I think the biggest challenge of this, it's the main object pro is the place. The place is amazing, the location, but at the same time it's very complicated because all the paperwork that it needs to be in this environment, just in front of the cathedral, implies different license. Also, if you want to do works here, you need to get a lot of approvals, a lot of bureaucracy, paperwork. So I think, we were stuck with this project for almost a year because we didn't have water, we didn't have electricity. And so really all this bureaucracy and paperwork was so annoying and even caused us anxiety and a lot of stress. But I think it's also because of this place. I think probably in other places maybe you don't face same challenges. But in this one in particular, the location is the best and it was the worst at the beginning.
Like big companies here in Granada, they wanted and they refused it because they found it too risky. No. They actually told us later on, and I was like, we have to be brave at that time and be fearless. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Nice.
I think maybe another challenge was to create a unique design. Also because the shape it's not uniform. It's this building is from the 16th century, I think, or 17th century. 17th century. No. So it's not uniform, so really to make this design, it was really hard, but that was all on his father. He was the one who created this beautiful shape, and it was a really masterpiece.
Yeah. Yes, it is. What I notice is every time we visit your place, we see people outside waiting in a queue to get your coffee. So I'm very curious, what makes your place special for your clients?
Well, I think the place is one of them. Everyone loves this place. Sun is shining most of the times here in Granada. You can sit on the stairs in this magic environment. I think it was one of the recipe for the succeed. Also the product, of course. The coffee, it's amazing taste, flavor. Everyone loves it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Okay, guys, I have another question for you. What does it mean for you personally to be an entrepreneur?
Being entrepreneur, I think it's a challenge. It can be difficult. It can make you anxiety. It's not easy, but I think it's very successful and fulfill. I think create something from the beginning by yourself, being your own boss, it can be very good. I mean, it's not easy. I don't want to say anyone that it's easy, but I think it's also a way of getting out of your comfort zone. So getting to those challenges, and when you pass them, it's very grateful and fulfillful.
Well, for me, it means that you're gonna have to risk some things. In that sense, your time, and you don't know what the results are gonna be. At the end of the days, you have to take into account all the things that you have in order to know if it's a good or not a good choice. But it's definitely worth it, since you're gonna develop a personal growthness, and also you're gonna feel like you are doing something by yourself, not depending on someone else. I mean, I'm working more now than in a normal job, but that's part of the process. People are looking for the comfort zone. People, they are not very risky especially in Spain. And I think from my side, I always like to work for myself and to be able to do it myself. Assuming all the costs, I think that's the key. When I spoke with my cousin first time, it was like, okay, now we are young, we still have time, we save some money so we can do something. If we fail, don't worry. You know, there will be another 100 opportunities, and I think success is something. It's about time. And obviously you have to enjoy the process.
Okay, last question for today. What is the best advice you could give to anybody who is watching this video and has the ambition to also start a business?
First one is have passion for what you do and do something you like, because if you are running a business that you like, it's gonna be much easier. So do something you like and do it with passion. And also, as we previously said, I think it's important to have a partner, because you can split the difficulties, well, everything, time, everything, absolutely. So find someone that you trust and you think it's gonna be a good partner, because otherwise the whole business can fail.
Passion is the first thing. I have many friends who are asking themselves, what is the next, what should be a good idea of business. They are thinking about making money before the idea itself. I wasn't planning to have a coffee shop. The place came first, and then the idea of opening a business came. I love coffee, and it's something that I always liked. Even if I work for something different, I always wanted to have a coffee shop. So for me, it's a matter of passion, a matter of something that I liked, and I think that's the idea. You could be completely lost if you are just finding good ideas to invest on, and at the end of the day, what you have to look is something that you like, and you're gonna spend time, and you're gonna enjoy spending that time on it. You know, sometimes when I'm not working here, I come just to the coffee shop because I like being here. So I think that's the key. And then if it succeeds or not, it's a matter of all the things that you want to be able to control. So my advice is to be brave, to be fearless, although it's difficult in these times. But we are facing a moment in which people, they are also fear of doing a project by themselves. So that means that there's less competitors. So you have more time and more opportunities.
That will be interesting. So let me teach you something. Okay, good. How are we? Good?
Yeah, anytime you can.
Yes. All right, I want to teach you one of my favorite tools in business. It's called SWOT. And typically the SWOT is used when you start something new. It can be a new business, a startup, can be a new product, new service, a new partnership. Let me draw for you how it looks. The SWOT starts with a cross. The S of SWOT stands for strength. The W stands for weakness, opportunity, and threats. What I typically do is write the date on the page because I save all the SWOTs that I make. So the date today is January 1st. So January 1st, 2025. And I also write down the topic. The topic is our new product, Rocket. So this is how I start the SWOT. Now what you can do with the SWOT is you can do it alone. You can do it with more people if you want to have different views of the current situation of the new thing you're starting in a business. So for what we're going to do right now is Rocket, our free educational course for startups. And I'm going to write down how the current situation is. What are our strengths at this moment when we're starting? What are our weaknesses, our opportunities, and our threats? Normally I don't overthink it. I go fast, make it simple. And for that, I will normally do it in a couple of minutes. So let's start the exercise. I first start with the strength and I go around like this, like a clock. So for strength, I want to write down 3 things that I think is what are our strengths for the Fearless CFO Rocket. I think the first thing that comes to my mind is experience. We have a certain experience that we can share with people to help them in business. I think a second strength is our network. We have a global network, we have a strong network, we have many business friends that want to help us and we want to help them. Network. And I think the third strength that we have is that we are able to explain complex topics, complex steps in business in very practical, easy to use approaches. So I call it practical. So if somebody would ask me what are the 3 strengths that comes to mind for the Fearless CFO Rocket, this would be what I would say. Let's move to weakness. Also 2, 3 points. The first point I think is our time. We have a very busy life, we do many things, so we have some time constraints, so we need to really plan our time very effective. So I call it our time. Second weakness is we're doing an educational platform, we're building an educational platform for the first time ever. We have never done this, we have never made these kind of videos, so it's kind of a weakness, a fun weakness, that we are doing this the first time. First time. And I think maybe a third weakness is that we are unknown. There's a lot of people that are offering educational courses online and we are just starting, nobody knows us. Let's go to the opportunities. I think the first opportunity is that people are looking for something new and we want to offer something completely new. So offering something new is an opportunity in my view. The second thing that comes to mind is there's a need for this. There's a lot of people with very good ideas, they don't know how to start. They need simple, practical advice, tools so they can start themselves and become successful. So there's a need. The third thing that comes to mind is we see a global market. We can offer these educational courses everywhere around the world. So global for me is an opportunity. Let's go to the last box, threats. So threat means is what could happen or what is a risk that we are not successful. I think one thing that comes to mind is people get very quickly bored when they look to typical traditional educational courses. When I do that myself, I also, after 1 or 2 courses, I'm not so engaged anymore. So being bored is a potential threat. There's also a lot of other people that are offering trainings. Now we are doing it completely different, but there's so many offers in the market that it might be difficult to find us. So others or competition is another threat. And thirdly, starting an educational platform might be costly, especially because we do it for free. That means there's no revenue to cover our costs. So we always have to be aware to be wise with time and money spent. So this is how a SWOT looks like. And now I'm going to give you a couple of practical tips. The first tip I already gave. This is my view, my personal view, but I can ask my partner, I can ask friends, I can ask other people, please help me designing the SWOT together. Then you get different views, different angles, different experiences that will help you. What is my current situation where I'm right now with my new product launch or with my new business? Another tip is that you can connect certain things in this SWOT, and I will show you how that works. For example, there's an opportunity to go global. How to make that happen is to use a strength. One of our strengths is network. We have a global network. So to unlock this opportunity of going global, we can use our network. So now immediately your SWOT gets into action mode. I want to give you one other example. There's a threat. People get quickly bored when they are studying. But there's an opportunity here because we are offering something new. And if you bring something new, that can be exciting. And what makes it very exciting? That it is practical. So it's different, it's easy, it's simple. Everybody can use it. So this is how the SWOT works, and now it gets excited. Now my last tip is, I normally use this when I start something new. And I only do it once. Sometimes after 3 months, 6 months, you can do it again because you have new business insight and your view and your ideas might change. So have fun with the SWOT exercise. It's a fun exercise and you can do it as many as time you want for any new thing you start in business. Good luck.
I have one more question for you. I'm very curious. What was your first experience with starting business? How you felt that time?
My first business was with my brothers, and we all three had a job, and this was more a side project. And when I think about it, it's very nice to start a business with people that you trust, people that you know, people that you have a connection. Because even in my businesses afterwards, I always started businesses with people that I trust. Friends or family, people that you really know how to talk with, how to communicate, how to make plans together. So I think looking back, that also give a good feeling, you know, to work with somebody that you like.
Oh, nice. And what was the business about? What did you do?
My first business was building websites.
Oh.
So it was many years ago. We were one of the first companies that built websites. It was in a small village, but we grow super rapidly. And then our agendas came too full. So we had to make a decision on continue with this business and quit our jobs, or continue with our jobs and quit the startup.
So what was the choice you made?
We quit the business, the startup, we quit, because my brothers felt more comfortable having their jobs. It was more security for them, and I respect that, I understood. Later, my second startup, I learned from that and I quit my job before starting the startup.
Okay.
So there was no way back.
So it has to be, you need to choose.
Yeah, I think you have to choose. It's nice to start a startup together with your job because it gives you some security on money and maybe health insurance and this kind of things. But in reality, it's a full-time job to start a business. So even if you do it as a side project, I think within a couple of weeks or months you will notice it's impossible and you have to make a choice.
And what kind of feelings, if you remember, of course, you had that time?
Yeah, I had the feelings. I think the feelings in a normal job are like this, ups and downs and ups and downs. And in a business it's like ups and downs and ups and downs. So for me the ups were, I really remember, first contract I sold to a customer. That was a big contract. The first order we got. The first service we delivered. These were all high, good moments. The first invoice you sent. The first time you receive money on your bank account from a customer.
This is a nice feeling.
Yes. And the bad moments, or not bad, but the more complicated moments were running out of cash. Trying something and it fails. So I remember really well that we invested in a flyer because our idea was, let's make this flyer and send it around. And we had 900 flyers and 0 reactions. And then you have to, that was a deep moment, and then you have to think, this doesn't work. Let's try something else. Don't give up. Let's try something else. But you're in a deep moment, so how to put yourself up again? You just lost your time, you just lost the money, no reactions, you feel that you fail. But in reality, you learn that that didn't work, so you have to do something else. We tried something else. We gave free training for websites to entrepreneurs, to business owners. And if they liked the training and they said, I want the website, we would sell. The moment we did that, we immediately got 3 deals. Immediately we were fully booked. At that time we were a small company. So we learned how to be successful. And then you go from the low part back to the high part again.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. Sorry?
Sí, sí.
No se puede utilizar.
Ah, no?
No, no está permitido.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Lo tiene que cerrar.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, gracias.
Gracias.
De nada.
Thank you for joining us in the first episode of Rocket. Every great startup begins with a single step, followed by hard work and determination. And we hope that what we shared will help you to take that step. See you in the next episode as we continue this journey together.
Oh,